What is the upskis, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GxGamerCast, run episode 198 of my little gaming show where once a week I just have to talk about video games, whether they're new video games that I'm playing today, old video games that I grew up with, it doesn't matter. Video games. And today I'm actually doing a sequel here right after part one, but this is part two of the sequels little series that I'm doing right here. And this time we will be doing generational gaps, meaning that I will be doing sequels that went from, example, PS1 to PS2, PS2 to PS3. On part one, we did not do that. We avoided that. We tried to do console sequels only in the same generation, just to add a little spice, little challenge over there, because it was way too easy coming up with this list with generational gaps. Oh man, I was just flying through this list. I was able to make almost a part 3, so maybe there'll be a part 3. That'll probably be later, because I don't have that list completed yet. But part 2 is ready to go, and that's what we're going to be doing today. We'll be taking a look at more of the best sequels of all time. We got a big list to go through today, so we're going to be talking about a lot of different video games. But before we get into that video game discussion, let me discuss what I've been up to over the last week or so, as I always encourage you, the viewer, the listener. Let me know what y'all have been up to over whatever amount of time. What movies have you seen lately? Are you diving into any awesome TV shows? And of course, what video games are you playing right now? It is officially June now, so that is really crazy. We're getting it we're getting into summer now. We're definitely in summer now, and it's been hot. I got sunburnt, and it's official. So I'm officially sunburnt. That means summer is here. All right, so in terms of what I've been up to over the last week or so, not a whole lot. My wife and I were on vacation for like 3 days there, so we were just kind of doing anything but our normal routines, so we weren't really watching anything. We were just kind of taking in the vacation and enjoying it, and it was a lot of fun. Went to visit some friends, some family, and got to go to the farm, see a bunch of adorable farm animals. Oh, it was fantastic. Another good visit up there, so that was a lot of fun. But I did manage to get in a movie when I got home. It was a long drive. It was like a fucking 4 or 5 hour drive both ways. Each way was that long. So it was a long drive. And I was a little worn out after the big drive, got home, and I was like, I'll just throw on a movie. And the homie Jesse just sent me a Snapchat. He was watching Grind. Now I was like, dude, I'm gonna watch Grind too. So I did. I watched Grind. Now, if you don't know what Grind is, I think it is a cult classic at this point in time. Everyone that I've ever known that have seen this movie absolutely adores this movie. And if you haven't seen it, it's a skateboarding, kind of buddy road trip kind of movie. It is awesome. I remember showing this movie to my grandma. My grandma loved it. She absolutely adored this movie. I was blown away. I was like, wow, I was not expecting that. Me personally, this is my favorite skateboarding themed movie I have ever watched. There is a lot of skateboarding in this movie. Great skateboarding, by the way. I used to be very, very, very into skateboarding, and this was my movie that I watched all the time. This one and Lords of Dogtown were really the only skateboarding movies that I could watch. There's not very many of them. But if you have any suggestions for good skateboarding movies, throw them at me, because I don't really know of very many. Anyway, soundtrack is goated. I love the soundtrack in this movie. I still listen to the songs in this movie. It's an amazing soundtrack. Every freaking song, I'm like, oh baby, just brings me back to the days, the early 2000s. Just, that shit was real. But if you haven't seen Grind, bro, you gotta watch it. I watched it on Crave. It's also apparently available on YouTube, so you can watch it on YouTube. Crave if you have it, so absolutely check it out. I think it's a must-watch. Everyone seems to love this movie. It's not perfect. It's not, it's charming, it's funny, it's got great skateboarding, amazing music, good laughs, good friendship moments. Oh, I love every person in that movie. Eric Rivers, come on now. All right. I would hit that, even though I've already watched it numerous times. I'd still hit it with an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's still a freaking great movie, and absolutely worth your time to check it out. All right. In terms of TV shows, not very much at all. All I watched was when we were, in bed, trying to fall asleep, we had How It's Made on, because that's a very dry show, and it's nice to fall asleep to. But I ended up watching like a good handful of episodes of How It's Made. It's pretty self-explanatory what it is. If you haven't heard of the show, I'm shocked. But it is simply showing you how things are made. And I love that process. I love going into the factories and seeing how everything is made and how the machines work and just how we get our favorite products to us. That's just fucking cool to me. So I always enjoyed How It's Made. It's one of the few, learning shows that I would watch growing up while I was in school, because I just found it really interesting. And it's always, I don't know, just tickles my pickles, so I like it. So I watched a little bit of that. And I got a lot of shows on the go right now that I need to finish. I need to finish Invincible. I need to finish Peacemaker Season 2. We finished The Boys, finally, so that was good. But I kind of feel like I want to rewatch the last couple episodes because I was kind of dozing off. So I want to try and get the full picture of that show. Like, did I really love that show? I mean, I did. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely loved it. But did I love the final season of it? Did I love the way that it ended? I'm pretty firm that I enjoyed it. Was it the best ending to a show of all time? No, I don't think so. There's many other shows that I enjoy. One of my favorite endings to a TV show of all time is 6 Feet Under. Love that show. Absolutely amazing. Old school HBO show. You could watch it on Crave, I imagine. It is absolutely worth a watch, but that show had one of the best endings I've ever seen to a show. Very, very unique, very clever, and I loved it. So you can check that one out too. Why not? All right, in terms of video games, not playing a lot, like I said, because we're on vacation, but I did manage to defeat Wind Waker. So Legend of Zelda Wind Waker is Dunyan Rings. I am done. I beat it. It took way less time than I thought it was going to take, like literally half the amount of time. How Long to Beat said takes about 30-ish hours. I got through it in about 14. So that's way ahead of schedule, so that's not a bad thing, but I am hoping to hold off on Wind Waker, and I'm going to save that for episode 200. We'll make that 200 because it's a special game to me, because it's a game that I've wanted to play for over a decade now. I've wanted to play Wind Waker for so freaking long, and I've just never had a chance to play it until I got my Switch 2, finally played it, so I want to discuss it, and we're going to take a deep dive into Wind Waker and, see if it is still the black sheep of the Legend of Zelda franchise, or is it one of the best games in the franchise. We'll be taking a deep dive into all of that. So I beat Wind Waker literally today. Freaking such a good time. I had a blast, so I can't wait to talk about that game. Other than that, we booted up, Jesse and I booted up Gears of War 5, and so far so good. I'm really enjoying it so far. I remembered not being very fond of Gears of War 5 because of some of the decisions they chose to go down in that game, but so far so good. We played a couple of hours, really enjoyed it. It's a gorgeous video game, looks amazing, and plays like a Gears of War. It's freaking Gears of War. We did note early on that the chainsaw doesn't feel quite as good as other Gears of War games. It just feels like they're rushed, rushing the animation instead of letting it just be. Let me grind through all the veins and the cartilage and the bone and let the blood fly all over the place. Take your time, baby. Let it flow. Let it be amazing. But in Gears of War 5, it kind of seems like it's rushed and they just want you to just move on. I don't know. But regardless, so far, surprisingly, really enjoying myself with Gears of War 5, so I don't think it's going to get an episode or anything. We're just playing it for fun. But it is a lot of fun. And speaking of a lot of fun, we decided to because my Gears of War 5 didn't actually fully download, we had more time, so we played some Rocket League. Gotta get some Rocket League in there. Still enjoying Rocket League. I'm still bad at it, but getting a little better. I'm scoring more often than not, and I'm not always the worst player on the field, so that's refreshing, and I enjoy that. So as long as I can, I'm not gonna get as good as I used to be back on PlayStation when I was playing it all the time when it first came out, but I gotta say, people are ridiculous in this game. Some of the goals, Jesse is ridiculous at this game. He is extremely good at Rocket League, and he wins most of the games for us, and that is really key. But I don't know how much more Rocket League we're going to be playing. Maybe a little bit here and there. I wouldn't have minded a little Absalom. We still haven't finished that one off, but still plucking away at that game a little bit, but I haven't played that in weeks. So I wouldn't mind getting back to that one maybe at some point, maybe after Gears of War 5 or something like that. But yeah, kind of a light week. That's Not a big deal. We got a lot to talk about on this episode, so I think that's all. Let's get into it, y'all. So let's talk about some more of the greatest sequels of all time. Oh, baby, just inject that soundtrack into my veins right now. That's Metal Gear Solid 2, if you haven't heard it before, but oh man, that is just incredible right there. I love that song. All right, let's get into this. So like I said, we are doing generational gaps this time. So for example, Metal Gear Solid 1 to Metal Gear Solid 2 is in contention for this list. Last list, it was not in contention. So make sure you go listen to part 1. I mean, you can listen to part 1 after this part. It really doesn't matter what order you listen to it. Doesn't matter. And there may be a part 3. I'm still working on that list. But let's just freaking get into this list, y'all. We got over, I think, 20 games or something on this list. I actually had to make it smaller because it was just too darn big. That's what she said. I wish. Anyway, let's get into it. So we're going to start off with Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. So this is a big one. This is still arguably, in a lot of people's eyes, the greatest Legend of Zelda game of all time. It's a lot of people's favorite video game. It's a lot of people's favorite Zelda game. And I get the hype. I played it for the first time a few years ago now, and it was delightful. It was fucking awesome. It was still very playable today. Still holds up as a great video game. I think I gave it like an 8.5 out of 10 on today's scale. So if it released today, I would have gave it an 8.5. I think it's a great little game. Back in the day, though, when it came out in fucking 90-something, like early mid-90s, like that's a fucking unbelievable video game. You look at the difference, the jump in graphics from Legend of Zelda 2, which I know is the black sheep of the franchise, Legend of Zelda 2. That might make a list for another episode I'm working on, but we'll see where that one goes. I'm talking about worst sequels. That's what if you have any worst sequels of all time, please send them in, because I'm struggling to make a list out of it. I got like 5 games on my list, so if you got worst sequels of all time, throw them at me, and that would be much appreciated. But the graphical jump alone from Zelda 2, we're going from the original NES, Nintendo Entertainment System, to the Super Nintendo. And I think I could have literally done a list of just Super Nintendo games, because I think when adding Super to whatever franchise, it's just way better. So I personally would never go back and purchase a Nintendo Entertainment System, because there is generally the Super version of every game available to you on the Super Nintendo, and they're way better. 9 times out of 10, they're the better version, better game, everything. So if you are, an old school game hunter and you're thinking about maybe picking up a Nintendo Entertainment System, I don't know about it. Like, it might be nice to have on the shelf. I used to see those things literally stacked, like dozens and dozens of Nintendo Entertainment Systems. They were very cheap and easy to find, and it was more Super Nintendo that was a little more pricey. It's definitely more pricey and a little harder to find, some of the games for sure. But that's my suggestion. If you are going to go back in time, I still think the Super Nintendo holds up very, very well. A lot of those games still look excellent and play excellent and just are excellent because they're excellent video games. And Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past is definitely up there as one of the best on that system. One of the best all time. But in terms of just how much more they added, the temples, the size of that game is very impressive for the time. It is massive. Big world to explore, different dungeons, boss fights, you name it, man. It's just so much better and plays way better. They go for the top down. Well, they go back to the top down. They went with a weird side-scrolly thing in Legend of Zelda 2. I know some people do like that game. There are some very cool elements to Legend of Zelda 2. I really enjoyed looking at how they use magic and stuff like that. It was really cool. It's a really hard game apparently as well, but I've never personally played it. But I played the shit out of Link to the Past. It was a good time. But I had to put that one on the list. That is the first game that came to mind when I thought of Super Nintendo. I was like, oh, Link to the Past. It's got to be. And it doesn't even have Super in the title. It could be called Super Legend of Zelda, and it would be justified. It would absolutely be justified. Literally, I think every aspect of Link to the Past is better than the previous Zelda games. Everything's better, bigger, badder, just so much better. It's a true sequel. The true sequel to the original Legend of Zelda is A Link to the Past. And it's a phenomenal game. I highly recommend you check it out. If you got a Switch 2, a Super Nintendo, I don't recommend tracking it down because it's probably way more expensive than it needs to be. But regardless, an amazing video game. Let's move on. We got Super Metroid. Oh, fuck. So, admittedly, I haven't played the original Metroid, and I don't have any intention on playing it because it doesn't look like it held up very well. There's some very cool elements to that game for a Nintendo, an old school Nintendo game that came out in like the 80s, I believe. So, some of the cool things that the original Metroid did was like using the ice beam. You can freeze enemies and use them as platforms. Very cool, but it's got nothing on Super Metroid. Super Metroid, another one of the greatest games on the Super Nintendo. I haven't beaten it. I need to go back and beat it. I got lost and then just lost interest in that game. That's 50-50. That'll happen with Metroidvanias and me. I'll get lost and I don't know where to go and I can't figure it out and I just go, okay, that's all there is to that. And I am done. But the superpowers, the power-ups in Super Metroid are ridiculous. You got the running, the grappling, the fucking all the beams, the bombs, the screw attack. Like, there's so much more to Super Metroid that makes it definitely one of the greatest sequels of all time. The graphics alone are just bafflingly so much better. I mean, not really bafflingly, but they're so much better than the original game. I mean, holy crap. The storytelling's a lot. The presentation of that game, the opening sequence of Super Metroid is still one of the more chilling, memorable openings to a video game that I have ever experienced. It kind of reminds me of BioShock a little bit, like way back in the day. BioShock, just really, that opening sequence just gives you a little bit of terror, a little bit of mystery, a little bit of adventure, of course, and yeah, there's not very many games that can top the opening sequence to Super Metroid with the dead scientists and the Metroid there. You're like, what the fuck is going on here? Game's amazing. I really need to finish it, and one day I will. But not today. Not today. All right, let's move on. Let's go to Super Mario World. This one, now, up for debate. It's a lot of people, it's their favorite Mario game, Super Mario World. You got Mario 3. This is that's the sequel. Mario 3, and then you got Super Mario World, and you know what? I think they did a fucking amazing job, considering Mario Bros. 3 is considered one of the greatest platformers ever made, and I would say, bang for its buck, the best game on the Nintendo Entertainment System. It is just phenomenal, but they did it again, man, with Super Mario World. They added in the Yoshi. You got all these different power-ups. The level design is fucking outstanding. Except for some of the maze stuff. Some of that maze stuff can go to hell. But the level design is excellent. The colors are just... I love the art style to Super Mario World. Is very unique. Very interesting looking Mario. Maybe not my favorite of the art styles, but I really enjoy the look of that game, and I like the fact that they upgraded the previous 3 games on the Super Nintendo to make it look like that. Just, thank you very much. But Super Mario World, it's still absolutely one of the greatest games out there. Like, it holds up. It's still so fun to play. I played it again just a few years ago for the first time. I actually beat it for the first time. Never been able to beat it. I grew up on this game. I played it so much as a kid. But I would get to the world where there's like the green... I used to call them stink clouds, but the green little cloud dudes, that's where I always got stuck as a kid. And then, of course, the Forest of Mystery or whatever it's called. Always never knew what the fuck to do there. So I would always get stuck. Restart the game, start back from level 1, and just over and over and over again. But, man, so much amazing stuff going on in Super Mario World. The power-ups, I think I already mentioned that, but oh my god, they're so good. You had to put down Super Mario World, of course. But is it truly one of the greatest sequels, though? Because, like, Mario Bros. 3 was so freaking good. Like, the king of Nintendo. And I don't know which one I like more. Like, I have a lot more nostalgia for Super Mario Bros. 3 because that is literally one of the first memories I have playing video games. One of my earliest memories is watching my dad play that game. He was in the final world and watching him go into those hell levels, and like the hand dragging you down into the level was just so ingrained in my brain. I'll never forget it. But absolutely, me personally, I might side with Mario Bros. 3 a little bit, just for nostalgic reasons. I think I can sit here and admit that Super Mario World is probably the better game overall. I mean, Yoshi alone, like, fuck, there's so much you can do with Yoshi, all the extra jumps, and he's eating shit and shooting out fireballs and shitting eggs, and oh, fucking phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And for that matter, you can even put Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island on there. We could talk about that. I didn't put it on this list, but I'd mention it because I played it for the first time, I think last year, and absolutely loved it. The art style is so good. I like it way more than Super Mario World. It's like this pastel colors, almost like a crayon drawing come to life. Absolutely sensational. Gameplay-wise, pretty unique. You know, you're throwing eggs around. Obviously, the Baby Mario thing is what holds it back. The Baby Mario mechanic is just not delightful at all, especially if you have the sound on. You got to hear the baby crying. It is absolutely awful, but anyway, I just wanted to quickly mention that just because I love that game so much. It is so freaking awesome. But Super Mario World, of course, has to be mentioned in one of the greatest sequels of all time. We got one more Super Nintendo game. I tried to limit myself because I thought it was too easy. I could literally just go down, Super Contra, Super whatever, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super fucking whatever, Super Wrestling, Super Tennis, Super Soccer, everything. All those are way better games than the Nintendo version, at least in my opinion. So up next, we got Final Fantasy 3/6, wherever you're from. So in Japan, it was known as Final Fantasy 6. I mean, this story's been told a million times, but it didn't get localized in North America, so we didn't get Final Fantasy VI. It came out in North America as Final Fantasy III, but it's actually Final Fantasy VI. But that's all fixed now, because you can play the Pixel Remaster. They have all 6 of the games right there, ready for you to go, and it's a great collection. I don't own it personally. I just personally purchased Final Fantasy VI because I wanted to play it, and I played that game for the first time just a few years ago, and it is definitely one of the best Final Fantasies I've played. It's not my favorite one. I didn't grow up on that one. I grew up on like Final Fantasy 12, a little bit of Final Fantasy 7. Like, no, I didn't own it as a child, but I did grow up like watching my uncle play it a lot, and I really enjoyed that. But me, I'm a little late to the Final Fantasy party. I did play the original Final Fantasy way back in the day, so this is where my experience comes in for this being one of the greatest sequels of all time. Now, I know there was Final Fantasy 2, 3, 4, and 5 after 1, but even from 5 to 6, there is quite the jump. Now, maybe not graphically. Graphically, it is a little bit better than 5, but it's the storytelling, the presentation of 6, that still stands the test of time. You got Kefka, arguably the greatest villain in gaming history. Like, this guy he doesn't get the respect. He does not get the respect anymore that he should be getting, because we really, admittedly, need a remake of Final Fantasy VI. We need to bring this game to life. We need to bring this story into the 3D realm, into the modern setting, or just the modern gaming setting. It can still be in its original setting, that's fine. But we need to bring Kefka to life. And we got to show off how fucking insane this guy is. He fucking poisons a whole town just because it's fun. And, like, this guy is truly insane. Like, truly, truly insane, and one of the coolest villains of all time. Very awesome game. Love the combat. Love the characters in this game as well. A lot of really fun characters to play with. And the story is arguably one of the best ones in Final Fantasy history. It is one of the better stories that they have. It is definitely the best story of the Super Nintendo Entertainment System era. There are, decent I don't know the stories front to back, all of them, but I know Final Fantasy VI is treasured as one of the best stories, darkest stories too. Very dark story. I like that they did that. That's why Final Fantasy 16 is one of my more preferred ones, because it's rated M. It's like, if they did Final Fantasy 6 remake, you gotta rate it M. It's gotta be an M-rated game, and just let Kefka be a true psychopath. And man, I want that so bad. That would be so freaking awesome. But Final Fantasy 6, everything's a little bit better, man. Everything, I mean, comparatively to the first game, it's night and day. It's fucking crazy how far Final Fantasy came from 1 to 6. But if you look at screenshots of 5 and 4, you're like, oh yeah, I could see the sprite work is absolutely excellent in those games. The backgrounds are pretty damn good, but it's the sense of scale, the story, everything's just bigger and badder in Final Fantasy VI, and that, for my money, is the best one of that era. It's not my personal favorite. It is definitely a top 5, for sure. Might be top 3. Top 5 for sure. Final Fantasy VI for me. But let me know, what is your favorite Final Fantasy? Which one did you grow up on? Because there's a lot of generations of Final Fantasy. You could be brand new to it up until like the current generation. Like maybe your first Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy 13, and I am so sorry for you, but at least you started on a low bar and you can work your way up, and there's a lot of good, way better games after Final Fantasy 13. And hey, I know there's some people that enjoy Final Fantasy 13. I didn't hate it. Like, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't great. It wasn't, graphically it was amazing. It was just boring. It was a very boring Final Fantasy, very linear. The characters weren't very appealing. But anyway, we're not talking about Final Fantasy 13. But let me know, what was your Final Fantasy that you grew up with? Me, it was, I guess, kind of Final Fantasy, the original one. That's like one of the earlier games that I ever played. A little way too advanced for a 4-year-old to be playing, but I tried. I got to like the first boss and got my ass kicked, didn't know what I was doing, so didn't really play a lot of Final Fantasy growing up, but I started to click with Final Fantasy. It was honestly Final Fantasy 12 was the one that really clicked for me, where I was like, oh wow, I'm progressing, I'm understanding the combat mechanics, and that's quite the advanced game. Like, the gambit system in Final Fantasy 12 is pretty fucking crazy. If you don't know, like, if you just get dropped into that game, like, in the middle of it, you wouldn't know what to do. You'd be like, what is this system? It is so complicated looking, but it brings you along. It is admittedly pretty complicated, but I really loved it. I love the sense of strategy and all that stuff. All right, let's move on. Let's go to the next generation, the PS1, the N64, PS2. We're talking all that shit. All right, let's talk N64. We got Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. I'll talk about them both. Now, like I said, we just talked about Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. Now, people that grew up with that game tend to not like Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask because it went 3D. Some people didn't like the 3D change. They just didn't like it. I loved it. I grew up playing the shit out of Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time was a game that I used to play twice a year. Like, I would go through that game and just dust it off, no problem. I admittedly haven't played it since the 3DS version came out, like 2012, 2013. It's been a long time since I played The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, because at this point, I struggle to want to replay that game because there's so many other Zelda games that I haven't played yet. I still haven't even barely touched the handheld ones. There's so many handheld ones that I haven't tried. The Phantom Hourglass, the Train one, Spirit Tracks, haven't touched any of them. So I need to get there as well. I've owned them forever. I just have not played them. But Ocarina of Time, for me, it was a massive upgrade. Like, I mean, it's hard to say because, like, graphically, if you put them side by side today, which one would you prefer? I think a lot of people would say Link to the Past still looks better than Ocarina of Time, because Ocarina of Time was one of those early 3D games. It came out in 98, so by that time there was a little more experience, a little more knowledge behind 3D. I wouldn't call it was better than Mario 64, like some of the stuff that 64 was doing. The camera was much better. They had the Z targeting system, which got introduced in Ocarina of Time. Some people absolutely fucking hate the Z targeting system. I think it works really good. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I grew up with it, so I have it built in. It's built into my system, the Z targeting. Z targeting was in Wind Waker, and I was at home with that. I was like, oh yeah, no, that's no problem. It's not perfect. It is definitely not perfect, but for that time, early 3D, it was genius. It was absolutely genius. And in Ocarina of Time, I love the temples. I absolutely love them. I know the water temple is up there for not good, but once you know what you're doing, and that goes for all the Zelda games, like, once you know what you're doing, you could fly through those games, and they're delightful. The water temple, once you know what you're doing, is actually pretty fun. Not bad. Pretty fun. I mean, you got some of the coolest fights are in that game. You got, well, not the final boss, but you got Shadow Link is in there. Like, that's all time. That's one of the coolest moments in Zelda history right there. So just gotta throw that one out there. The I think they just did an amazing job jumping to 3D. I think that's one of the best jumps to 3D of all time. Maybe the best one of all time. I don't know. It's definitely up there. But they just did everything, man. They made the game massive. Like, Hyrule Field, I know admittedly, like on today's standard, it's pretty barren wasteland. There's not much going on out there in Hyrule Field. But for that time, man, I remember just riding Epona around, just living a life, like imaginary life, like, oh, I'm just gonna go fishing, I'm just gonna ride over here, I'm gonna jump some fences, I'm gonna collect some carrots and smack that horse's ass until it can't handle it anymore. And yeah, man, just fighting some enemies out there. It was a massive game. It's a massive game. There's tons of temples, tons of dungeons to go into, tons of boss fights. The Ganon fight is amazing. I love that fight. It is so badass. The music is incredible. I mean, all the jams. The jams in Ocarina of Time, bro. Like, come on. The Sun Song, the Song of Storms. Like, get the fuck out of here. Unbelievable. It's an all-time classic. Does it hold up as good as Link to the Past? I would probably side with Link to the Past holds up better than Ocarina of Time over time. But at that time, in 1998, 1999... Ocarina of Time was breaking molds, man. It was a game changer. It was trend making. It was still a game that I feel like holds a lot of influence in gaming today. Like, you know, that game, I think it more so Mario 64 was walking so that games like Ocarina of Time could run and gallop and just dominate and just be such an amazing game. I absolutely adore it. And then there's Majora's Mask. Admittedly, I have not ever beaten Majora's Mask. I got really deep into it. And then my favorite YouTuber's account got closed right when I was in the middle of his walkthrough of that game, and I got devastated, and I just stopped playing it. So I need to get back to Majora's Mask and give it a shot and get through that game in its entirety so I can see, is it better than Ocarina of Time? Like, I love the mask thing. I love how cool that is, changing into different characters, a little Deku, a little Goron, a little fucking Zora right there, playing different instruments. Oh, so freaking cool. And just the atmosphere of that game is very dark, very different from Legend of Ocarina of Time. Very, very different, and that's a good thing. I think it's a great sequel. It's admittedly not doing anything different graphically, like it didn't upgrade the graphics really at all from Ocarina of Time. Might be a little more color, maybe a little more detail. But it's the obviously the time mechanic is way different in Majora's Mask. Like, you're on this 3-day cycle, and different shit can happen during those 3-day cycles, and you got to be on that. And it's an incredible game. I had to put it on the list too because I just have to mention it. I have to mention it. All right, Ocarina of Time. We have to get that one on the list. All right, let me just get these marked off here. Up next, we got another 64, and that is Mario Kart 64, which is still arguably my favorite one. That's the one I probably put the most time into, had the best memories playing. Even though it was limited, like you could only play with 4 players when you're doing multiplayer, like there's no other computers, it's just 4 of you, because that's all the N64 could handle at the time. That's maxing it out. But fuck, dude, I would still play Mario Kart 64 today. If anyone was like, yo, you want to play it? It'd be absolutely. It's still very playable today. Is it the greatest looking game today? No, it's kind of aged at this point. It's not the best looking game. It's very blocky. It's very kind of a little blurry, a little smoky, and but it's still got some of the best tracks. It's got a good cast of characters. Like, it's not the biggest cast of characters, but comparatively so to Super Mario Kart, which admittedly I've never played before. I've heard some things about Super Mario Kart. It's rather difficult. It's a little hard to play. It definitely isn't as tight as the other Mario Karts, and I think the tightness really began with 64. That's where, like, you're doing the drifting so smooth, you got the boosts, you got all the great power-ups. I mean, I think this is where the blue shell got introduced, which is a shame, but it is what it is, right? I mean, the blue shell is still in Mario Kart today. It needs to be, man. I know it's very annoying when you're in first place and you get hit with the blue shell. It's very, very annoying, but it's there for balance, and there are ways to counter it today. In 64, there was nothing you can do. Absolutely nothing. Unless it glitched out or something, you are getting hit by that blue shell 99.9% of the time, and it's a little cheap. A little bit cheap, but whatever. I don't care. I absolutely love 64. The multiplayer alone just makes it so fucking good. 4-player multiplayer all day, every day with Mario Kart 64. The maps, the battle mode even was a lot of fun. I love playing the battle mode. Yeah, man, I just freaking love Mario Kart 64. I think it's a big upgrade in terms of Super Mario Kart. All right, let's move on. We got a PS2 game now. Maybe I should just do this other 64 game. Mario 64. Come on now. Admittedly, I don't think... I had to put it on the list because people would be mad if I didn't. But me personally, I think Mario World's the better game. Mario 64, in my opinion, is kind of like maybe like a 7.5 out of 10, 8 out of 10. It's the camera, man. The camera in that game is bad. It's just bad. Some of the jumps in that game are just bad. Like, wall jumps are really hard to pull off. At least for me, I tried to play Mario 64 a handful of times now. I usually can't get through it. Not all the way, like get all the stars or whatever. I can beat Bowser, get the 60 whatever stars you need. I've done that. But man, some of the stuff in that game is so fucking tediously difficult because of the camera. It's just not. It's one of the earliest 3D games out there, so they were learning as they go, and they did like really unique shit. The level design, admittedly, is fucking amazing. Like, there are some incredible levels. There are some incredibly tedious levels in that game as well, but graphically quite impressive for a 3D jump. It is still pretty good looking. Like, it's very colorful. The art style works. It's blocky, right? I mean, that is the generation. PS1 and 64, shit was blocky, man. A little blurry, a little smoky. That is kind of what came with that generation, but they added a lot of color. They brought Mario to life, like in 3D form. I thought they did a really good job there. They did as good as they could with the camera. Like, admittedly, I can't say a lot. Like, it's bad for me. But if I played the game back in the day when it first came out and got used to it and grew up with that camera and grew up with that, I just didn't. I was very late to the Mario 64 party. I probably didn't start playing Mario 64 until like 2006 when I got my N64 for the second time. Didn't play it the first time. I only had like 3 games the first time I had an N64. It was very expensive. But the second time around, I collected a lot more, and I still own it, obviously. Don't really plan on going through that game in its entirety. It's just really not my favorite. It's not for me, and I'm fine admitting that. I know it's a lot of people's favorite game. That's cool. Good for you. Happy for you. Glad for you. Glad you like it and you can play it. I just can't. It's just, I really struggle with the camera. So for me personally, I don't think it's one of the greatest sequels of all time. But I can hear that argument. I would absolutely hear that argument and be like, okay, I see where you're coming from. But I just can't sit here and say that Mario 64 is better than Super Mario World. Like, I really can't do that. I don't even think it's better than Mario 3. I don't think it's... The only game I think it's better than is Sunshine. Sunshine was a downgrade. Like, you went from, like, Mario 64 to Sunshine. Like, that's... Graphically, of course, amazing. Way, way, way better. But... gameplay-wise, just not there, dog. Just not there. The camera's better. Camera's definitely improved. Like, it's still not perfect. It's still not perfect. There's still some problems there. They didn't figure out the camera until Galaxy. Galaxy, they figured it out. It's amazing. It works. I don't know how they got it to work in that gravity, like, with the gravity and everything. That's extremely impressive. So, they figured it out now. They got it. They figured it. And I'm happy. I love the Mario games now. They're Odyssey, Galaxy 1 and 2. All time. Love those games. They're definitely in my top 100. So, let me know what you think of Mario 64. Do you think it is one of the best sequels of all time, or do you think it was a kind of a backward step? But also, it's a progressive step, though. It's a progressive step. Obviously, we wouldn't have the games that we have now without Mario 64. Mario 64, I will always give it its credit for being one of the most important video games of all time. I could definitely give it that, but it's not one of the best, in my opinion. So we'll move on now for Mario 64, now that everyone's nice and pissed off. Let's move on. All right, we got GTA 3. So I grew up on GTA 2. I played a lot of GTA 2. Now, GTA 2, if you don't remember, if you're, you haven't gone that far back with Grand Theft Auto, you're only in the modern setting. Grand Theft Auto used to be top down. Grand Theft Auto 1 and Grand Theft Auto 2 used to be top down, and it was awesome. I fucking loved Grand Theft Auto 2. I played it so much. Admittedly, didn't do a lot, didn't play the story at all. I was just going on killing frenzies and running from the cops and sometimes just following the rules. Just see how long I can go without getting into trouble. That was fun doing that every now and again. Now, I played Grand Theft Auto 3 for the first time last year or 2 years ago. Didn't love it. It doesn't stand the test of time. San Andreas, Vice City, way better. Admittedly, I can put those on the list. I think they're on the list for the part 1. So, but I have to give Grand Theft Auto 3 the same credit that I gave 64. I think most people would say that Grand Theft Auto 3 is better than Grand Theft Auto 2. Story-wise, presentation-wise, forget about it. Holy crap. They turned it into a mafia movie in Grand Theft Auto 3. You got full voice acting. It is a huge, huge upgrade. So and graphically was massive. Now you've gone into a full 3D open world video game, and it is beyond influential. Again, we wouldn't have, who knows where we would be if we didn't have a game like Grand Theft Auto 3. Admittedly, someone would have came by and done it at some point, and then we'd be talking about that game. Someone would have done it eventually, but Grand Theft Auto 3 did it. They were there. I don't know if they were first, but they're definitely the most successful, and there's reasons for that. It doesn't hold up today, but fuck, man. Back in 2001, I think that came out. Insane. People haven't seen presentation like this in a video game. It felt like you were watching a movie, like a Mafia Godfather movie. The story was actually really, really good. The characters were really good. The voice acting was amazing. Soundtrack was amazing. Graphically blew people away at the time. So yeah, I definitely think that Grand Theft Auto 3 is one of the best sequels of all time, but it doesn't really hold up today. So you don't have to play it. It's not a game you have to play now. You can definitely do better with Vice City or San Andreas. Those are the ones that I would pick. But anyway, have to put in Grand Theft Auto 3. Up next, we got Metal Gear Solid 2. Now, this is controversial. A lot of people hate this game. I don't. I love this game. I think it's awesome. I didn't get tricked, though. So a lot of people back in the day, they got tricked. Now, what do I mean by that? So they showed off this game with Snake in it. Snake's the main character of Metal Gear Solid. He's the guy that we all love and know. He's who we're familiar with. And they marketed the game at the time that you're going to be playing as Snake throughout the whole entire game. There wasn't even a mention of Raiden, whatever the fuck you want to call him. Not even a sniff of a mention of who this guy was. And then turns out, you buy the game, you're super excited to play as Snake, you only get to play as Snake for the first 2 hours, and then you're playing as this Raiden guy, who admittedly sucks in Metal Gear Solid 2. He's a little bitch, he's a little baby, he whines and cries about everything, and he is not a fun guy to control. It controls fine, it plays like a Metal Gear Solid, that's fine. It's just not satisfying being Raiden, because you're hey, I'm just this little bitch right here, what's wrong with me? Why can't I man up? He doesn't man up till Metal Gear Solid 4, then he becomes one of the most badass characters in gaming history. I've talked about him in my favorite characters episode, which was not that long ago. You can track that one down. If you ever want to look up an episode, if I've done it, all you gotta do is put in the search, just put in GX plus cast, and then put in whatever you want. X game, X topic, and see if I've done it before. Put in retrospective, put in whatever game, you'll find it. That's how, admittedly, I have to do it sometimes. I have to look up things to see if I've done them before, because I've actually made that mistake already. I've done 2 episodes of Fallout 3. So sometimes I have to do my own research. Did I do this game already? We're at almost 200 episodes, so I'm starting to forget which ones I have done and haven't done, so I gotta keep up with that. So I double check sometimes, for sure. Anyway, Metal Gear Solid 2, graphically, huge upgrade from Metal Gear Solid 1. Absolutely fucking huge. The storm effects, the weather effects, on that tanker ship were mind-blowing for the time. Absolutely mind-blowing. The water, and the wind, and just all that freaking environmental hazards and just like, oh my god, just things we did not see in video games. Like that amount of detail was not really, and that is Metal Gear Solid's bread and butter, man. The details, the little details in those games are fucking crazy. Admittedly, you miss a lot of them a lot of the time, but if you look for them, holy crap, is it ever a cool video game. One of the ones that got me was in Metal Gear Solid 4. My buddy was he was basically doing a tech demo for me, convincing me to buy a PS3, and he was like, look, this guy's gonna shit his pants, you can put on your night vision goggles or your x-ray or whatever, and you can watch the shit come out of his ass and just spread across his cheeks. It's just, oh, it's so fucking cool. I'm like, why is this in here? But I'm so happy it's here. It's so cool and funny. So anyway, Metal Gear Solid 2, I know it's not people's favorite. Like, Metal Gear Solid 3 is, in my opinion, the best one. Like, that's the best game, the best story, the best characters, the best atmosphere, the best setting, everything. I think Metal Gear Solid 3's got it in spades. So you could argue that Metal Gear Solid 3, I think I might have put it in the last episode, I hope I did, but Metal Gear Solid 1 to Metal Gear Solid 2, it's graphically, it's just insane. Like, it's so much better that you can actually tell what their faces look like. There's actual detail there. It's not just this blurry fucking mess of pixels. It's great. The storytelling is so good in Metal Gear Solid 2. The music, the voice acting, like, oh my god. And the gameplay is awesome too. I think the stealth gameplay in full 3D works. Like, they built upon what they built in Metal Gear Solid 1. They just added to it. You got the sleep gun, what do you call it? The dart gun. I think that's new. But regardless, I absolutely love Metal Gear Solid 2. I love it. I didn't finish it. I need to finish it one of these days. I accidentally ruined the disc, and the disc wouldn't read anymore, so I couldn't actually finish that game. I do own multiple copies of it now, so I can finish it, but only on, I think I only have it up to PS3, so I'd have to hook up the PS3 again, and yeah, that's a whole situation. I'll probably at this point just wait for a remake. Like, they did Metal Gear Solid 3, so I imagine they would do Metal Gear Solid 2 at some point, and maybe even do Metal Gear Solid 4, because why not? That would be awesome. Alright, Metal Gear Solid 2 is done. Up next, we got Final Fantasy X. Oh, baby. So, Final Fantasy IX is, in every rights, an incredible video game. It is one of my favorite Final Fantasies. It is probably my favorite one on PS1. Honestly, all said and done, I think I would prefer to play that game over 7. Now, there's nothing against 7. I love 7. 8, we got some beef. 8 wasn't great. I played that one, I think, last year. I couldn't finish it. It just wasn't it. I wasn't connecting with the characters, the story, the gameplay was not it. Like, all you're doing is summoning things all over the place, and it's just really annoying. But 7 and 9, fuck yeah. So, but then you got 10. 10 graphically, holy shit. Those cutscenes still look good to me. Like, you throw on those opening cutscenes with Titus, and the Blitzball stuff. Oh my god, blew me away. Like, I was late to the Final Fantasy X party. I didn't play that game probably until 2008, 2000. Like, it was way after its release, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I even loved the laughing scene. Ha 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 ha. I get it. I have context to that scene, so I actually understand what was going on, and I understand that scene. It's an amazing video game. Didn't finish it. Very common for me not to finish a Final Fantasy game. Back in the day, I rarely finished them. I would get to the 60-hour mark most of the time and just tap out. I'm like, all right, I can't take no more. Or I don't have enough time because I rented it most of the time. So I just ran out of time and couldn't finish them. But Final Fantasy X, graphically, I know it may not be people's favorite characters. Like, people don't like Titus. People don't like the lion cat dude or whatever the fuck he is, but I think the story's a lot of fun. I think the cutscenes are absolutely unbelievable. Just an unbelievable looking video game. Like, I still think it looks good. Those cutscenes, I still watch them and I'm like, wow, that's impressive. That's impressive. And it's just a damn good looking game. I love the beach setting, the tropical vibes. Mwah, absolutely love it. I really wish I got onto Final Fantasy X a lot earlier in my life, because it'd be like an all-time for me, for sure. It's It's probably in my top 100. Like, I'd have to write out a top 100 to like actually figure it out and see what games are and aren't in my top 100. Maybe that'll be episode 300, or maybe we'll save it for 250. I don't know. A top 100 is a lot, man. It's a very difficult list to build. Regardless, Final Fantasy X. Is it better than Final Fantasy IX? I would probably... Oh, that's tough. That's a tough... I like them both a lot. I think they're both fantastic. But just, come on. The graphics, and the gameplay's awesome. It's still turn-based, so they didn't change anything there, like, drastically. It still kind of plays like your typical PS1 Final Fantasies. It's just the graphics, soundtrack, the scale of those games. Like, holy shit, man. Those games are huge. Lot to do, lot to see, lot to play. All right, that's probably enough on Final Fantasy X. Let's move on to Resident Evil 4. Arguably one of the greatest games of all time. Now has one of the greatest remakes of all time. But, dude, the jump from 3 to 4, fucking crazy. Changed the whole gameplay system. We go to this third person over the shoulder in Resident Evil 4. We're done with the tank controls. We're done with the weird camera angles and the static backgrounds. It's all gone. They changed the game so drastically and for the better, in my opinion. Now, there is something special about those old games. Like, I played Resident Evil Remake for the first time a couple years ago, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. The tank controls just added to the atmosphere and the fear of that game. It was brilliant. It was genius. But now we got Resident Evil 4. Definitely, a turn into the more action-oriented Resident Evil, which, love it or hate it, it seems like they nailed the balance in Resident Evil 4 with horror, survival, and action. There's a good amount of all of it. There's horror, the fucking... Oh, don't even get me started with those fucking... Oh, those Iron Maidens. Oh my god, those things are terrifying. Oh my god. Okay, we're not talking about those right now. Those are in the Scariest Enemies episode. You can go check that one out. They're absolutely in there. But graphically, like, what a change. Like, holy crap. You can't even argue that is definitely one of the greatest sequels of all time, Resident Evil 4. It changed the whole gameplay system for Resident Evil into, we're still using it now. Admittedly, they did go to first person. That was the next big change, but they still play with both of those versions. They got first person and the third person over the shoulder action, which so many games have stolen. Gears of War, Dead Space, like, tons of games are influenced by Resident Evil 4. It is definitely one of the most influential games of all time, and is one of the greatest games of all time. Enough said. So Resident Evil 4, definitely going to be on my list. Next up, we got a bit of a controversial one, Soul Calibur 2. So Soul Calibur 2 is strictly like a graphical upgrade, roster upgrade. Now, Soul Calibur, the original game, is one of the highest rated games of all time on the Dreamcast. So, it's hard to say that is Soul Calibur 2 better because, man, go back and look at the Metacritic on Soul Calibur. It's like, a 98 or something? It's up there. It's one of the greatest games of all time. I have never played it. I've never owned a Dreamcast. I've never met anybody that had a Dreamcast. Never done it. Never seen it. I have seen them in the wild. I have seen Dreamcast, but I've never played one, so I don't know much about Soul Calibur 2. All I know is I played the shit out of Soul Calibur 2, and I absolutely adore it. It's probably a little bit tighter. Characters are a little more characters in there. I don't know. I don't really have much of an argument for Soul Calibur 2 other than I really love it, and I think it's awesome. So I'm throwing it on this list anyway. Now we got Smash Bros. Melee. Oh, fuck. This is definitely a massive upgrade over the original Smash Bros. Original Smash? Oh, in my heart, forever. I love the original Smash Bros. That is the reason why I wanted an N64 was for Smash Bros. And GoldenEye. But mostly for Smash Bros. And I love it. But Melee... Though I haven't played very, very much of it, comparatively so to most other people, it's night and day. There's so many more characters. There's so many more maps. The graphics are so much better. there's the story mode. There's just more to do in general. The sandbag thing. There's just the party mode. The multiplayer is better. The competitive nature of this game. The balancing is so much better. I think they literally every aspect that you could look at a video game, they improved upon it. And still to this day, people hold Melee as the greatest Smash. Me, I'm at the point now it's Ultimate, because, like, dude, come on. Ultimate, it's got everything. It's Ultimate. They named it Ultimate for a reason. I don't know how they could top it. I don't know if there's ever going to be another Smash after Ultimate that's going to be other than just more characters. Like, I don't know what they do with Smash from here on other than that. There's going to have to be some sort of drastic gameplay change for it to be... I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with Smash Bros. Let me know. What do you think they're going to do with Smash Bros? I have no idea. But Smash 64 to Smash on GameCube, I think is the biggest jump in the series. They haven't topped it since in terms of just how big of a jump that was. I think they went back a step in Brawl. Like, yeah, obviously the graphics are better, but the Subspace Emissary, though the cutscenes are incredible, I love them. I'd watch them over and over and over again. Subspace Emissary kind of sucks overall. But, and the game is slow. Like, Melee is fast and tight and crisp, and Brawl is slow, and for some reason you trip over shit for no reason, and it's ridiculous. And admittedly, I love Brawl. I played a ton. I played so much Brawl. I played way more Brawl than I played Melee, that's for sure. I probably played more Brawl than I played Ultimate. I might have even played more Brawl than I played original Smash 64. I played a lot of Brawl. And I can sit here and say it's not the best one. It's still a great game. Love it. Absolutely love it. But Melee's the one for me. That's the one I got to put on this list, that's for sure. All right, we move on. This is a controversial one for sure. Absolutely going to be controversial. Resident Evil 5. I know. I'll say it right now. It's not better than Resident Evil 4, but I love it, and I just want to talk about it again because I think it's an amazing game. Don't skip Resident Evil 5 because people are like, oh, it's too action-oriented. It's one of the greatest co-op experiences I have ever had in gaming. Still to this date, I have played it 6 times co-op, like so many times with the homie Billy. I mean, that's all I've done it with is the homie Billy. I played it through a few times solo. It's way better co-op. And yes, it does take away from the fear when you're playing with another person. It's still got its moments. It's still got some scary moments. The lickers, chainsaw guys, the fucking crocodiles are terrifying in that game. There is still some fear to be had in Resident Evil 5. It is not, a pure action game. I think it still has, I think it's like a 30-70 mix, like 70% action, 30% horror, where Resident Evil 4 might be like 60-40 or maybe even 55-45, something like that. Does that math work? Yeah, I think it does. All right. But I don't care. I'm putting on Resident Evil 5. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I absolutely love it. So for me, it is, considering how amazing Resident Evil 4 was, I think they did a pretty fucking good job with Resident Evil 5. Look what they did with 6. Resident Evil 6 sucked ace. That game was not terrible. I mean, it's still playable. There's still good things about that game. It's just mid. It's just meh. It's a story for a different day. But I put on Resident Evil 5. Up next, we got Killzone 2. Now, I didn't play a lot of Killzone. I played a little bit, not very much. I don't really remember a lot about it, but I remember playing a lot of Killzone 2. And Killzone 2, I know it didn't live up to that E3 trailer hype, but I still think it was an amazing video game. It's one of my favorite PS3 games. I played the shit out of Killzone 2. I thought the multiplayer was awesome. You could play with bots, which I used to play with the bots all the time. I used to snipe those dumb fucks all the time. It was so much fun. I thought the campaign was a lot of fun. I enjoyed, graphically, it is not the E3 trailer, but it's still an amazing looking video game. So much better than the original Killzone. It's an amazing game, man. I think it's still awesome. Way better than Killzone 3. Way better than Killzone 4. Those games stink. They're no good. Killzone 2 actually rules. That's the best game in the franchise. And I would love to see Killzone come back. Try and capture that magic that you had with Killzone 2, which was, for my money, I thought it was pretty close to killing Halo. Even though it didn't come close, I thought it was a good enough game to do it. I thought anyway. I love Killzone 2. I thought it was an amazing game. So there we go. I had to put it on my list. Up next, we got, this is a big one. Fallout 3. That's a big one, because this is another huge gameplay shift. You go from a tactical CRPG kind of computer situation. Admittedly, I never played them. I would love to. I want to play them someday. I will play them once there'll probably be a nice remaster collection or something like that they'll release at some point, and I'll play it there. But Fallout 3, holy shit. That game changed my life, bro. That game was amazing. That game made my jaw drop the first time you come out of the vault and you just see the scale of this wasteland that you're in, and you get to just go wherever the fuck you want, do whatever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck you want. I mean, that was the freest I ever felt in a video game. Like, I had I didn't have to do the main quest. Like, I could do anything but the main quest, and like, that's totally fine. Like, I was blown away. Admittedly, graphically, it wasn't even that great of a looking game when it came out, but gameplay, the VAT system was insane. Like, the fact that you can pinpoint specific body parts, like you can shoot their hands and they'll drop their guns. You can shoot their legs and cripple them so they can't move. You can obviously just shoot them in the head and watch their head pop like a watermelon. Like, oh my god. Fallout 3 blew me away. That is one of the pinnacle games for me that just made my jaw drop, just changed everything for me. I was like, man, I can't, like, there's a new standard for me when Fallout 3 came out. Like, there was a new bar that needed to be met, and some games just weren't hitting that bar anymore. Like, my bar was lower, and then Fallout 3 just made that bar go way up. I was like, damn, I didn't know games could get this fucking good. And Fallout 3, the story was fine. Like, it's a good story. It's a good little story. It's fine. You're just chasing after your dad across the wasteland and trying to save everybody. Pretty simple. But the gameplay, the weapons, the searching, man, the sense of exploration, adventure, just do whatever you want, all these crazy zany characters you meet along the way, the insane fucking side quests, like, Fallout 3 is probably a top 10 game for me still. I absolutely adore it. And I had to put it on this list because it was a huge upgrade. It was a completely different game from Fallout 2, so you can take that for what it is. And up next, we got GTA 4. Oh, fuck. So, I think I would compare it to GTA 3 because it's the next mainline game. So, comparatively to GTA 3 to GTA 4, holy shit. Graphically, get the fuck out of town. That game was amazing, bringing that New York City aspect to the game. Just, oh my god, the sense of realism at that time was quite amazing. I know people don't like the driving in that game, but once you get used to it, it's pretty fucking awesome. Just it was a little thick. I don't know how to describe the driving in Grand Theft Auto 4, but it was heavy. It wasn't very crisp, but it gave you that sense of realistic driving. Like, I'm driving a beater, and it drives like a beater. It doesn't drive like a nice smooth fucking BMW or something. So, I don't know. Story got insane. The character of Nico Bella was, like, we haven't seen a main character develop like that since, well, CJ. I mean, shit. But, I mean, damn, Nico was, come on, Roman, fucking cousin, doing the bowling, doing the darts, doing whatever, and just so much, all the little details of GTA 4, like, just the amount of shit that you could do, interacting with the world was just so much more realistic. The story was amazing. Like, come on now, Grand Theft Auto 4, that's one of the biggest games of all time, and the introduction of online. You took that shit online, holy fuck, bro. Like, me and the homies riding around on the scooters together, locking ourselves up in a Cluckin' Bell and just seeing how long we can survive against the cops in there, shoving buses into the doorway, absolute carnage. The memories. Like, my homie Billy and I, we would just turn this game on and take turns just trying to die in the most crazy way, just trying to make each other laugh. Like, what's the craziest thing I could come up with in Grand Theft Auto 4? Like, obviously, get a helicopter, jump out of the helicopter and see where you land. Like, bam, you hit a car on the way down, you smash into a lamppost. The swing set, come on now, the swing set, you remember the swing set? You can go into that swing set and it'll just launch you across the world. Holy shit. So many collectibles, so much shit to do. Grand Theft Auto 4, one of the best. One of the best, absolutely. And you can make the argument for 5, but I'm not going to. Up next, we have Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. I'll put them both there. Mario Galaxy over Sunshine, fuck yeah. Oh my god. I don't hate Sunshine. I think I gave it like a 6.5 out of 10. It's okay. Like it's an okay game still today. Like it's playable. It's got great moments to it, but it's also got some real lows, man. It's got some real lows, some terrible gameplay design, some terrible level design, and but there's something there. The setting, the graphics, but then Galaxy came out and blew my fucking mind. Like, admittedly, I didn't love Galaxy at first. It took me a little bit. I just played it this year for the first time, played through the whole entire game, and I loved it. Give it a 9 out of 10. Amazing video game still. But I think Mario Galaxy 2 is way better. The level design's way better from start to scratch. Yoshi adds so much more to that game, and yeah, it's just way more fun. It's way more fun to collect the green stars than collecting whatever the fuck you're supposed to collect in Galaxy 1, the coins or whatever. No, the green stars all day, every day, but either one of those two games over Sunshine is a massive upgrade. Just level design alone, the camera is amazing. Like I said, they finally figured out the camera in Galaxy, got it done, figured it out, and it's been smooth sailing ever since. They're incredible video games. They're masterpieces in most people's minds, and I think they're masterpieces too. And a huge upgrade to the soundtrack. This is the first time they went with the full orchestrated soundtrack, and it shows, man. Like, from the beginning, like, that orchestra kicks in, and you're like, whoa. Like, whoa. Damn, dude. Like, whoa. That shit's crazy. The music is amazing in Mario games now. Like, they've gone to a whole new level from, like obviously the originals have their melodies, like those timeless melodies, of course, but now they're just remixed into these crazy orchestral fucking masterpieces, and it's amazing. So I had to put Mario Galaxy on this list because I think it's just so much better than Sunshine. And we'll finish it off with Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Oh, fuck. So, over Call of Duty 3, this is a huge upgrade. Call of Duty 3 was okay. It was okay. Not a bad game, but got nothing on Call of Duty 2. Call of Duty 2 was way better. Call of Duty 3 was quite the downgrade. And then Modern Warfare came out and changed the mold. Changed everything for shooters at that time. Everything was World War II, World War I. This brought it into the modern setting and did it so amazingly, so breathtakingly. The presentation of this game is amazing. The scenes in this game, like that opening cutscene with Captain Price in the helicopter and you're flying over that ship, the water effects, the rain effects were unbelievable for the time. Absolutely unbelievable. And he was smoking the cigar and you could see the lighting from his cigar lighting up his face, and you're like, what is this shit? What is this? This is amazing. And then, I mean, the campaign is still one of the greatest first-person shooter campaigns of all time. We still all remember Gillies in the Mist, one of the most influential levels in first-person shooter history. They have still tried to recapture that magic. They can't do it. They just can't. They put a sniper mission in pretty much every Call of Duty. No one's got Gillies in the Mist. No one. No one's touching that level. It's the perfect level. It's the most fun. I love playing it. I played through that campaign like dozens of times. Fucking incredible. And I can't say that for any other Call of Duty. I don't. A lot of them I've skipped the campaigns because they're just not worth it. A lot of them are just one and done. Like, all right, that was something. Like, not very generic. A lot of the campaigns nowadays, but Call of Duty 4, oh, wow, such a good campaign. And then on top of that, you got the multiplayer, which is like, oh my god, the multiplayer was so tight, so crisp. The create a class system, the kill streaks, the maps are timeless, bro. The maps are all crazy. They're still remaking those maps, and maps are influenced from those previous maps and shit like that. The weapons are iconic. The M40, get the fuck out of here. M16, AK-47. I mean, very common weapons, but fuck, for the time. M4, get out of here. Oh my god. What else is there? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The M40 is like the one. That's like the most iconic gun in Call of Duty history. I had to put Call of Duty here. It's the last game on the list, and we're done. That's it for this episode. I have another sequels list, but we'll save that for like a later point. We're not really worried about doing that really fast right now. I still have to build it up a little bit, but there we go. Call of Duty 4 God damn, that game. Oh, what a game. What a freaking game. I don't know if they're ever going to hit that heights again with Call of Duty. I think Call of Duty 4 was their peak in terms of just mind-blowingness. Like, Modern Warfare 2 was, I love that game. It was on the previous list, but it's got a lot of flaws with it. A lot of flaws that could have been fixed. They could have fixed them, but they refused. Oh, so frustrating. Regardless, Call of Duty 4 was... There were problems with it. Like, by the end, there was a lot of cheating, a lot of hacking going on, but that kind of happens with a lot of these kind of games. They're not really playable anymore. People still play them. They're just, shooting through walls and shit like that and cheating. It's not fun. Regardless, love that game. Love these sequels. Let me know. Did I miss any sequels? Please let me know if I missed some sequels, but listen to the previous two episodes, or listen to both of these sequels episodes, then tell me which ones I've missed, because then I'll put them in part 3, and we could discuss them in part 3. So we'll save it for that. I did skip a couple games on this list. I added them to the third list, because it seemed the conversation was getting a little samey there. Regardless, that was a lot of fun. Love talking sequels right there. That was a nice long episode. And there we go, everybody. Another episode down. Thank you so much for listening. You're the best. You want to be even more of the best, make sure you're reviewing and sharing the podcast around with a few of your friends, maybe an enemy or two. Why not? Let them know what you're up to. Let them know the awesome podcast that you're listening to. And maybe they'll tell their friends and enemies, and then so on and so forth. And then I can retire finally and just do podcasting for a living. It'll never happen. Anyway, thank you again so much for listening. In terms of the next episodes, we'll be doing a 2007 retrospective, and then episode 200 will be Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. That'll be the big one. All right, everybody, sound good? Sounds good. We'll talk to you again soon. We'll be back again with some GX Plus games.